Hello everyone, this is Dr. Abdul. Today I'm glad to walk you through exercise 5-6. The book is Discovering AutoCAD 2020, that's chapter 5. So let's get started. As you see in this exercise, we have some drawing suggestions, like the grid is 0.25, snap 0.125, the line type scale is 0.5, and the limit is 812. Then we have some instructions, and as always, we need to start by analyzing the drawing, study all dimensions carefully, and set a plan and strategies to finish the drawing. The first thing that I suggest when you draw to create your layers. See how many layers we have. That depending on each drawing, you might choose to organize a drawing in the drawing in a different way. However, I always recommend having different layers for the text, for dimensions, construction lines. Also, if you have different views, I recommend having different layers as well for each view. So let's get started. We're gonna jump into AutoCAD, and this is the drawing here. I just put it for you. The first thing, we need to create layers, as I told you before. I created some layers by clicking on layer properties. I already did that to save some time. The construction layer is, I give it a name and color. As always, I recommend having name and color. Also, the line type is important. As you see here, under the line type, I set the center, which is the dashed line. By clicking the layer properties, you can always click on this little symbol and create layers. If you need more information about creating layers, please check the video that I created before about layer, and it was 2 parts: layer 1 for beginners, layer 2 for advanced, and filtering layers. Now here's the line type. This is the center, and this is here hidden because we do have two different line types here. This horizontal is dashed, and these lines, the vertical and horizontal, are hidden. So two different layers for two different line types. Also, I set it up here, a front view and top view. As I mentioned, I recommend having 2 layers for different views. We have a layer for text and layer for dimension. Now let's get started. The first beginning with construction, so let's make it current. You know it's current when it is on the top, it is active. Now, as you see here, we have horizontal line. To start the drawing, we need to set the snap setting. The snap setting, as suggested, is a 0.125, so we're gonna make the X spacing and the Y spacing 1.25. This is the grid spacing 0.25. This is optional but recommended. That will save you time instead of typing. However, from time to time, you might need to turn it off and on. Sometimes you jump to points that you don't need or do not fall in your drawing, so you need to turn on and off the snap setting from time to time, and you can use the F9 key, or you just turn it off. As you see here, the snap on now, and it's checked, and this is F9 key, or you can turn it on and off from this button. Also, what I recommend to have the dynamic input on, as you get some instructions on the screen. We do have the polar tracking on, and I recommend having the polar tracking on 90 degrees. You can always change that if necessary. Now we do have the object snap. I recommend having endpoint, midpoint, also center, geometric center, because we do have here like squares with fillets. We can do that as rectangle with fillets, so it's a geometric center. It needs geometric center, not the center. The center is for the circles, and the geometric center for other polygons and polylines. Now not, I don't believe this is necessary here, but you can always change if we need it. The intersection, I believe we need that. So remember, always you can check this. You can add any point as needed while you're drawing to have your drawing accurate. Now we do have the construction layer active. Let's start the drawing line. As you see, the first line here is 6.25 and it is from the beginning till the end of the front view. And we're gonna work together. So some dimensions, we take them from up, from the top view or the front view, work together. This is the line command. I'll enter or just start the line command. And here we need to draw 6.25, enter. So this is the first line. The second line from the center up, it is the same radius, is 2.38. So I'm gonna draw a line, and here I need the middle point. As you see here, the midpoint is the triangle. It should have the object snap on, which is easier, and then we need to go up. The distance here is 2.38. I'm gonna copy these lines, so copy from the modify, select the line, enter. I'm gonna copy from endpoint down. So there are different ways you can lengthen that by using the grips, or draw it one more time, or draw it all at the time, but I did the copy. I find it easier. Now let's get the front view, and I'm gonna draw line 1.5, enter. Now I'm gonna move this line from center to end, so that make the 1.5 in between. I'm gonna copy this line from the midpoint till the end point of that line, so I have both lines there. Now I do have an arc drawing, so I will use for that, you can use a start center end. Actually, you can draw it with a circle, start, center, end, or any other ways. Now I'm gonna use start, center, end for that, and I need to make sure that I have the object snap and object snap tracking on, so that will help me track any point from the drawing. I'm gonna put this is the endpoint, and remember that we go counterclockwise, otherwise you will hold down the control key to change directions. Now from this point, this is at the center, and I need you to keep your eye on the command line, and this is the center and this is the end. Okay, so start, middle, end. If it happened that you draw opposite direction, you can hold down the control key to change the direction of the arc. Now let's do the other one. We can do it the same way, or we can mirror. So I can mirror the, enter, and here the mirror line, which is the horizontal axis. Now what we will do, I will draw it with another way just to show you both ways. Arc, start, center, end, start and center, which is the intersection point, and end. Both ways will work, as you see, and you can choose any way. Now to draw the middle part here, we do have a square, and the dimension is 1. As you see here, it's 1 square. What we're gonna do here is to draw rectangle. You can do it with polygon or rectangle. I'm gonna do it with rectangle this time because I need to make fillet for the edges. So I will use rectangle. I will draw it outside, then move it. So before that, let's keep an eye on the command line, and you see here we have fillet. We will click fillet, and let's see here the fillet for that 1.25 for 4 places, so all of them, that is 0.125. So I'm gonna type 0.125, enter. Now the first corner, I'm gonna do it this way, then it is 1 by 1, so 1, top, 1, enter. So I draw this. Now I'm gonna move the rectangle with the fillet selected, from the geometric center. As I mentioned before, we need the geometric center on. So from the geometric center till this intersection, and here you go, it is in the middle. And now the other one is 2. So let's draw the outer rectangle the same way. You click fillet and you put the radius is 0.25, and then you start drawing. That is 2 by 2, enter. Then you move the square inside. Now what we will do, we need to draw this rectangle. This rectangle is 0.75 times 0.25. So let's draw a little rectangle. As you see here, we still have the fillet, and this is important to change the fillet before. So draw rectangle, we click fillet, and the fillet now is 0.25. We put it 0, enter. Now we start drawing the rectangle, and notice now the fillet is 0. Then we put 0.75, we hit the tab button, and the width in this case is 0.25. So this is the square. Now I'm gonna explode this using the explode command on the modify group, or X enter, explode, and select the rectangle, enter. I will explode it just to make this offset, and the offset distance, as you see here, coming from the chamfer on the top. The chamfer here is 0.12. So let's make offset. I'm gonna zoom to that little rectangle, offset, and the distance is, again, it is 0.12. So we type 0.12, enter, and this is the offset. We need to offset that 2 times. Okay, now what we will do is we need here to create a line with the distance 0.38. So we can do that in different ways. I can just draw like construction line, maybe then I delete it, and we need to go to this distance here is 0.38, enter. Then let's draw this construction line to help me set the beginning of this rectangle. Then I'm gonna move this rectangle selected from the midpoint till the intersection of that line that I created, and now I placed this rectangle correctly. If I no longer need that line, I can delete it. I will use polar array now from the array modify, polar array, and I will choose that rectangle. Notice here that I do have this blue window that every thing should be inside, totally inside to be selected. So I'm not going to select the construction line. Okay, hit enter and specify center point. The center is the center of this square. Now we will go to the items and make it 4, since we just have 4 items. We don't need it to be associative, so just leave that off, and let's close the array. If by mistake make it associative, you can change that by exploding the array later. Now, after that, we need to create some other lines here in the middle. As you see here, we do have some hidden lines created. So let's move to another line, another layer with line hidden. So I click on hidden to make it active. Then I will draw a line using the object snap and tracking. As you see here, I tracked this line because the tracking is on. So make sure you have the tracking on. Also, you can do that by having the extension on. That will be helpful too. So that will create here, when you get this intersection, you hit it, then click the line. Again, you click the line. You do not click on the endpoint, just hover over it, and when you move, you get that tracking, then the intersection. Now you left click go to the left, find the intersection, and left click again. This one I can use the polar array to polar these two lines. Okay, as you see here, we do have 6 items, make them 4 and enter. I have this 4, close. Now, what we have here, we need 2 extra lines in the middle. So let's go to the line and draw these 2 lines. Enter. From the middle point, make sure you have the object snap set to the middle point. That will be very helpful. I believe we finished the front part. Let's make the top view. And for this one, we need a help from the front view. But let's first move to the top view here to draw it on a different layer. At the beginning, we start line commands. We need to have some lines from the front view. So hover over the endpoint, do not click. Go up till you get this tracking. Click, go there, drag the point. Look at that. I'm not clicking till I get the point. When I see this intersection, I drag. Now, these points here will give me the axis. Or another way, you can turn off the grid snapping if you want. If this is easier, just click now on the line, snap this till you find a point. Go to the right, you can type 6.25 or drag the point from down. Just make sure you have the correct point and it should be aligned together. Now we need to go down. The distance is 0.5. Enter. Left, you can drag the point from the top. And notice now, I'm gonna zoom in to show you here. Now this line here should be, you should have the polar tracking on to get these 2 lines. Then you have the line, end of the line, the end point, enter. So we get this here 2 points. Okay, now we need to do that little part down. To do that, notice here the distance is 1.38 and we are tracking points from the front view up. So let's go the line command, and here we need to track the point till we get the intersection. Let me just go down, and here we need the distance is 1.38. Enter. We go to the right. Also, you can get the point from down and get it up. Now, as you notice here, I'm very close. Let me just move. I will use the move command and select my object. Enter. I'm gonna move carefully a little bit up. Now, what I will do here, the rest of the details, we do have lines, 2 hidden lines coming from the inner rectangle or the inner square up. So I'm gonna do that. Let's go to the hidden. As you see here, we have lines coming from the inner square. Enter. Again, do not click till you hit the intersection and up. Okay. Now we do have a line which is 0.75 far away from the top. I'm gonna use offset for this, and the offset distance is, get that here, the offset distance is 0.75, and I'm gonna offset 75 will offset this line down. I will trim the rest since I don't need these 2, and here you go, I have this. Now I need to move that green line to the hidden, so I can just click on it and choose the hidden, or I can use match properties, which is a good idea. Click match properties, click the purple, the hidden, then that green, and see it is matching the properties and moved it to the correct layer. What else we need to do here? Other details, we do have a line coming from the middle. Also, it is hidden. So I'm gonna draw it from the center. And here we do have a circle. Let's move to the top of view. Let's make a circle using center diameter. As you see, the diameter here is 0.25. We click on this point, and this is 0.25. To complete this detail here on the left, we notice that the distance is 0.50, and this line is coming from the rectangle below, and we do have a chamfer 0.12. So the beginning, let's start with the line. We are on the right layer. We need to get some lines to help me. So after starting the line, carefully get the end point, get some reference line till you hit that line with the intersection. Now left click, go down 0.5, enter. We go to the right. You can pick that point or just directly put the distance. Here you go, and I will go up with the intersection. Now for this I need to use chamfer. Chamfer, if it's not there, so it is one of that in the pull down menu. We get chamfer, pick distance, and the distance here is 0.12, enter. Enter one more time because there are two distances for vertical and horizontal. Then you pick the first and the second line. Hit enter one more time, then the horizontal vertical line, hit enter. Now we have this piece, we need to mirror it. Let's select the lines, hit enter or right click, then get the vertical line. Hit enter just to do not erase the source. And here you go, we do have this part. The last thing we need to complete is this little detail here. As you notice, it is half of this rectangle. So I'm gonna copy this rectangle from the intersection. As you see, it is in the middle. To, let's put it carefully. Let's put it in the middle here. Then escape. I'm gonna trim this part. We don't need them. Also, I'm gonna erase this part. Okay, so here you go. We got this. If we need to put dimensions, we will go to the dimension layer. So they're supposed to be on a different layer, and we will go to annotate tab. We find here the dimension group. We can insert the dimension right from here. The first thing is layer for linear. So the first thing is linear, and we have the endpoint, start point and end point. As you notice here, the decimal places are different. To manage that, we can go to the dim style, click on it, and this is the dimension style manager. You can modify or create a new one. For now, I'm gonna modify this, and you see here from the decimal that I just need two decimal places. I don't need more, and I will click OK. Close. Notice now that I just have two decimal places. I'm gonna put some more dimensions here with the linear dimension. Let's make here from top to top. Okay, if I need more linear, I can pick the points from here till that part. We can move it a little bit. Now, I need to mention here, look at that, the arrows from inside. However, here the arrows from outside. To do that, you can go to each arrow. Okay, and this is the grip. You click on flip arrow. Similar, flip arrow. So without clicking, actually, you just need to hover over till you see the flip arrow. And now we forgot to draw these two lines here. I see that we do have two lines. So to draw here, these little lines should come from the top. So let's go lines and I need to get a line from the top. When I intersect with these lines here, the horizontal, I click again to get a line, intersect, as you see here. You can zoom in just to get, and I will turn off the snap, that's easier for this. So here you go. Okay, and again, without clicking the first time here, do not click on the circle. Just when you find the X, go to the left, click. Okay, now to match again, we can match properties, click on that purple, then we can click on any lines just to match these properties. Let's go ahead and put some a little bit more of these dimensions. We have here 1.5, so annotate linear, and the 1.5 from the beginning to the beginning here. Also we have the fillet 4 places. So what we can do here is we have the radius. We click on the radius here. If it doesn't come, so you need to do something like explode it sometimes. If needed, you can do the explode if it is polygon. Now this is the radius, and notice here that we do have some text. So what you can do is just double click on it to edit that text, and you can type, put the cursor any way. So it is R.25, and this is fillet for, you can put that even if you needed gaps, fillet like the same way, and then for places. So here you are free to put the things, but I just try to use it the same way. Even if you need it to be in 2 lines, you can hit the enter, so you have them in 2 lines. Just trying to cover some of the little tricks you have there. Similar to that, you can do this diameter, and instead of radius, now you need to get the diameter. Click on the circle. Here you go, we do have 0.25. You can override it by double click and put it as percent C. Will put it back if you lost it. So here percent C, and then you put 0.25. Let me check what was the text here, through the center 4 holes. So the idea here that you can put any text you want. You can put the enter just to make it like 2 lines. You can override it, and you do the rest of the dimensions the same. Here we have radius. Also, I need to show you how to put this radius in the middle. So here you start the radius, and this is the radius of this circle. You see that it is coming this way. The best way to modify this radius, as you see it is coming in the middle here, to go over this text, click on it, you will find the grip, and here you need to move, try to move text only. Okay, and notice now that you get this line. Okay, so this is some tricks here. I believe this is all about that. So move text only, or flip the arrow, or override some text if needed. So this is some of the tricks that I wanted to cover for this. You will learn more about dimensions later in the book. Also, I discussed that in one of my videos, previous videos about dimensions, if you need more information. Okay, thank you so much for watching. If you learned something valuable, please like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to get notified when I publish new videos. Thank you so much, and this is Dr. Abdul.